It's days like today when I think to myself, why did I do this? Why did I become a mother? Why did I choose to have 2 children when I could have just had 1? And I'm not sitting here saying that I regret having my kids. No way in hell. Yes, today has been a really crappy day, but I love those tiny humans like crazy, and I wouldn't change having either of them for the world. But still, you have to realize that there are going to be those days where you're sitting at your kitchen table and you're going to be asking yourself that question, why did I do this? Because from the minute you wake up to the moment you lay down to bed, you're literally going after your 1.5-year-old every 5 minutes, getting her off the kitchen table, getting her out of the chemicals under the sink. And like that moment just right there, she runs by you stark naked because somewhere along the way, she stripped her diaper off and left it God knows where. And you're like, well, like today I feel like I've just been on a Ferris wheel going round and around and around, over and over and over, doing the exact same thing repetitively. As I was saying, keeping my daughter out of making messes and out of things that she's not supposed to be getting into is not easy, because unlike her brother, she does not ask for help. She will go grab one of the kitchen chairs, drag it all the way over to the living room, and we have this setup where it's like a fireplace mantle, except no fireplace, and we have our TV set up there with my husband's box. She'll drag the chair all the way over there, climb up on it, and play. Leandro, inside voice, please. Let me tell you how many times I've repeated that phrase, inside voice, repetitively. I can't even count on both of my hands and my toes how many times I've repeated that. But today, it's one of those days where I'm just sitting here thinking, what the hell am I even doing? Like, am I even properly taking care of these humans? Have I totally slacked off today? Am I like, you set them in front of the TV for like an hour. You tell yourself it's going to be an hour. And then by the time you realize it, like 5 hours have gone by and they're still sitting there, and you're like, oops. Like, I was supposed to turn the TV off and actually be productive and like go over the alphabet with them and teach them their numbers. And it's like, oh my God. Like, there are some days that I'm just like, thank God there's nobody else here but me, because if anybody else was watching my every move with these kids, they'd be like, this woman is incompetent. Like, she is incompetent to the full. And there she goes. She's pushing a chair. Hey, Missy. No. No. Honey, I cannot tell you how, if there were mere words that I could come up with to describe, to just take everything that comprises motherhood and to compact it into one small box and just give it to you and be like, here's everything you need to know about motherhood. I mean, the list is endless. I really couldn't even begin to describe it. I mean, it's the most amazing, wonderful thing in the world, and you feel so fulfilled knowing every time you wake up in the morning, you look at these kids and you're like, I carried that inside of me. I created that inside of me. And then you see them growing and you see their personality developing, and it blows you away. You're totally blown away by how amazing they are. But at the same time, when you have days like this, you realize how motherhood is the hardest thing you will ever do. It is so hard. It never stops. Every sleeping and waking moment you're a mother. I mean, even when you're asleep, for me, I don't sleep hard like I used to. I'm sleeping, but it's like one eye and one ear is metaphorically open, because the minute there's a sound, no matter how slight it is, my head snaps up and I rip myself out of a dead sleep, and I'm wide awake in that moment, because my brain has been so conditioned to be like, okay, mom mode. Who like fell from the bed? Is everybody still alive? Who hurt themselves? Somebody throw up? It's like I'm instantly going through all of the emergency scenarios in my head as I'm ripping myself from sleep and throwing the blankets off and going to look at my kids and see if they're okay. It's so hard. It's so hard. I am telling you. It is the most difficult thing you will ever do. And I'm not saying that so that those of you out there who are dreaming about being mothers change your mind. No, don't change your mind. Do it. It's so amazing. But don't go into it with this tunnel vision, rose-colored glasses idea of what it's going to be like, because no matter how many books you read, no matter how many people you go to for advice, no matter how many times you sit down with your mother, your grandmother, your aunt, and you ask them advice, it's never going to be what you think it is. And I mean that in the way that it's going to be harder than you ever imagined, and it's going to be more amazing than you ever imagined. So just go into it with no expectations. If I had one piece of advice for anybody, go into it with no expectations and just go with what feels right in your gut and in your heart. And definitely surround yourself with people that are going to be there to support you and carry you through. And for the love of God, ladies, please schedule standing dates with your partner or dates with your girlfriends, or just schedule a day to just go off by yourself. My girlfriend, she came over one day and she was like, I just went out to lunch all by myself, just me. And I thought to myself, wow, that sounds phenomenal. Because I can't even go to the bathroom by myself or take a shower by myself. And if I do, there's little hands knocking at the door. A little voice going, Mom! Mom! Like he's doing right now. What is it? Hold on, baby. Come on. All right, wait, okay? Ryan's in the bedroom. Go get him. Okay. Ryan is this cute little boy that plays with these awesome, cool toys, and he watches Ryan on YouTube. So whenever he wants YouTube, he says, Ryan. But seriously, you have got to, as much as I want to say that you give your all for your children, at the same time, I want to say that you really need to make sure that because you're giving so much to them, you need to make sure you're filling yourself too. Because if you just give, and you don't replenish yourself, what?
Ryan is gone.
No, just go.
No, Ryan is with you.
This is what I'm talking about. If you don't fill yourself up with some kind of rejuvenating activity, whether it's a day with your girlfriends or your partner, or a day just you by yourself, you're going to feel this, what I'm feeling right now, you're going to feel it every single day, and you're going to burn out, and it's just going to be a disaster. So don't do that, ladies. Don't do that to yourself. Take some time for yourself every week, every day if you can. I can. I mean, I know how absurd that sounds. Like, to those of you who are moms, you know what I'm talking about. The thought of taking time for yourself every day is like, what time? What? Like, really? Like, where do I go to take time for myself? Hide in the pantry? Like scoop myself in the dryer and close the door and hope that the kids don't find me? Like, no, there's no. But you need to find some way to take that time for yourself, because otherwise, you're going to be burnt out. And like, I'm getting sick. My nose, I can feel it. And it's because I've had like a stretch of like 3-4 days where I'm like barely sleeping. And it's not necessarily the kids being up. It's just my body has gotten to the point where I can't sleep properly. Like, my body just like keeps me awake for all odd hours of the night, and it's so insane. What?
Ryan's with you.
Okay, go get him.
Okay, Mom.
So it's like, oh my gosh, ladies, This is what it's all about. Motherhood is phenomenal, but motherhood is hard, and motherhood kicks your ass. And you have to make sure that you have the strength and the stubbornness and all the love in the world to kick right back, because this is it. It's all or nothing.